Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and it's a pleasure to honor to be here with you, and also being here with Lydia and Andrea. And we're here just to share a little bit about our session this Friday. We feel called to talk a little bit about racial reconciliation and healing. I know for me, it's been very intense week for me. A lot of emotions came up, particularly last week. Watching the video of George Floyd literally being choked uh, to death on TV in national, went all over the place on social media. And watching that, I just felt a lot of anger come up for me, a lot of frustration, a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, all different types of raw human emotions coming up for me. And just to the next morning, how traumatic seeing that video was for me, and how it really affected psyche, affected my emotions, just really brought up a lot of trauma from the past. It was very triggering for me. And when I reached out to different people in the community, this was a similar effect to a lot of people, particularly people of color. And we had opportunity to create safe spaces for people to vent, to chat, to share, what's on their hearts, what's on their minds. But I just came to the realization how just traumatizing this was, and how it brought up a lot of emotions and feelings. So we want to invite, everyone just to come and join us this Friday as we talk about race and reconciliation and healing and what that actually means. And as we come together and we look at what's going on collectively in the country and around the world, and how do we get to this place that we're at today. I believe it's so important for us to sit down and just really witness what's going on, see what's going on, recognize what's going on, and feel all those raw human emotions that's coming up, because it's so important for us to feel before we heal. Then have an opportunity to have a discussion, which we're going to do this Friday, and actually what's going to be the call to action from all of this. And it takes each and every one of us, it takes personal responsibility to make some choices in our life. But when we think about how do we get here, this country was founded. The foundation of this country is based on racial inequality. So therefore, when we look at how the systems that we all live in, how the system is designed and set up to be um, unequal, particularly depending on the color of your skin. But we, the people, we power these systems. So how do we change the systems? By uplifting and raising our consciousness. I think it was Albert Einstein that mentioned that we can't change a problem with the same way of thinking or the same consciousness that helped create it. So therefore, it's so important for us to raise our consciousness, bring awareness into um, how these systems operate. And one of the things that help us to change this our consciousness is to really look at these systems that's in place. What does it mean to have white skin privilege? Does it mean when we say the word white supremacy? And oftentimes, I've done work with uh, this topic, and it's very intense, and it's very hard to have these conversations. But I believe it's so important for us to talk about it and what that really means. So this Friday, we will also share some different resources that people can really do the inner work, because I believe it's so important for us to do the inner work before we do the outer work. And it's important for us to protest. It's important for us to share and speak up. But it's so important for particularly white people to really look at how they benefit for having privilege based on their skin, how they benefit from white supremacy. So therefore, it's not a conversation or discussion of blame or judgment, but it's so important for us to see, how these structures work and how they benefit from it. So therefore, then we can have that power to uplift all people, particularly people of color dealing with this situation. And like I said, I'll share some resources and some things that we can do to help dismantle racism, institutionalized racism here in America. And by doing that, we'll all come together and do our own work with breath, do our own work with sound. And breath work and sound is two powerful tools that can really help us to really dive deep into the emotions that we feel at this moment, the trauma that we endured, those uncomfortable emotions that may come up having these discussions. And it can help us to root and ground us and really prepare us to take action and help us to really make the change and be the change that we want to see in the United States. So I'm very excited for you to join us on this Friday. I'm so grateful for Lydia and Andrea to be co-facilitating this all together. And I think it's just very powerful work, and I believe that it's so important that we need to do this work right now because this is the time. The time is now to really speak up. The time is now for us to do our own work individually and do some work collectively as well. But it's so important that we do the inner work first. And Friday will be a great opportunity to do just that. And I'm very excited. Very excited.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Very welcome.
I'm so happy that we can be here as three humans from very different backgrounds,
Hmm.
sharing sacred space
Yes.
and showing up every month as we do for a community that comes from all walks of life.
That's right.
And our heartfelt intention here is to hold space for whatever it is that you need.
Hmm.
And what is on my mind as I hear, as I observe, as I watch, as I witness, is is really being in my own discomfort, being in my own discomfort and getting comfortable with that discomfort, knowing that it's going to lead to lasting change, and
Hmm.
knowing that it's not the time to turn a blind eye. It's the
Hmm.
time to go within, and
That's
it's the
right.
time to do that inner work, which is all of our responsibility. And I think there's all different ways of taking a stand.
Hmm.
I know my role that's been coming through my heart really, really clearly in the past week is I'm here to hold the field. I'm here to hold the space
Yes.
for those on the front line who are out there protesting to come back
Hmm.
to come back to themselves, to come back to release that trauma, to
Hmm.
have a sacred space where they can breathe and feel and lie down, and really recognizing that I understand that I will never understand,
Hmm.
and owning that and knowing that it's okay, and it's okay. And from this place, we can show up and we can learn and we can listen. And I can ultimately only ever speak for myself, but I'm here to spread the love, and I'm here to show up and to continue to show up as we have. We founded this community class on the basis of, with the intention of really creating a safe space for everyone to come every month to show up and heal, to celebrate our differences, and to really look at how we can move forward. So I'm grateful and humbled and honored, as I am every month, to be here co-facilitating. And it's a real call to action, a call to action to show up and to contribute your breath. This is not the time to hold it. This is not the time to take an inhale and hold and wait for it all to go away. This is the time to exhale with your brothers and sisters. This is the time to exhale and to hold their hand and say, I don't know. I don't maybe have all the answers, but I will contribute my breath and I will listen.
Hmm. Yes.
Mhm. Thank
Thank you for sharing that, Lydia. Yes.
you.
Listen.
Yes. You know, we have been doing this community breathwork and sound bath um, uh, here in Hartford for over a year now. And, I have to say, when we started this, I don't think that I ever would have imagined um, where we would be today. And what becomes more apparent as every month goes by is how relevant this work is and how important our community is, right? And I want to say, for us, that Black Lives Matter, proudly, strongly. We are not afraid to be here for our Black brothers and sisters, for our community, to be allies, to stand, to speak, to listen. We are here and we are ready. And there is so much fear and there's so much anger, and there is this sense and this feeling of the world burning down. And I saw something beautiful the other day, that was saying, the world isn't burning down. It's giving way to the new. All of this
Right.
is so necessary because it is time for change. This corruption has been here for hundreds of years, and it's time. And this is giving way to the new. And so, going back to what you were saying, Calvin, going back to what you were saying, Lydia, this is about us staying in love, holding the field, being there for each other. And if that is just breathing, then let's breathe, because there are people in this very moment that are taking their last breath. And that is the reality, and that is the truth. And sometimes when we don't know what to do and we don't know what action to take, it all comes back to coming back to the breath. And so we invite our community, we invite new people from all over the world to come and to join us in this community breathwork and sound bath, to honor, to support, and to hold this space and to raise up love,
That's
raise up
right.
love,
That's right.
raise up love. And in addition to this being open to everyone, we want to turn no one away. We are donating a portion of your love offerings to the Black Lives Matter 860 GoFundMe. That is a local organization here in Hartford that helps support bailouts for protesters, that is doing beautiful, beautiful work to support the community. And I'm grateful, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Friday.
Mm, yes.
And beyond.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
beyond.
Yes. Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing that. Both of you, Lydia. Just I hope just have this opportunity to join us and to share what's on your heart. If you need to vent, if you need to listen, if you need to do these holistic practices together in community, because there's so much power in community. And we often say that connection is the cure for feelings of isolation, loneliness, depression, and different other types of intense, raw human emotions that we experience in our life. So even though these conversations may get heavy, even though some intense emotions may come up with us, we're doing it together in community, which makes it all more powerful, therapeutic, and healing. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday, joining us this Friday as we dive deep together, as we bring up these issues together, as we heal together.